Bond. James Bond.
In case I don't see ya. Good afternoon, good evening, and good night.
Did we just become best friends?
Yup! Sublime!
You keep using that word. I don't think it means what you think it means.
Tear me apart, Lisa!
But mostly I hate the way I don't hate you. Not even close. Not even a little bit. Not even at all.
I'm gonna make him an offer he can't refuse.
Hi, friends, and welcome to another episode of You Haven't Seen That, a movie discussion podcast where we introduce our friend Ben to movies he should have seen a long time ago. I'm your host, Amanda.
I'm Geoff.
And I'm Ben.
And today we are starting our Best Picture month. So this month we will be only doing movies that have won the incredible honor of winning Best Picture.
We're being snobby this month.
It's award season, baby.
Yeah, Oscars right around the corner. Golden Globes already happened. It's that time of year. So we are starting the month with The Sting. And stick around until the end because we will be talking about the fascinating top 4 animals that we would not want to get stung by.
Riveting.
No, that is not what The Sting is about, so don't worry.
No idea. The Sting, a novice con man, teams up with an acknowledged master to avenge the murder of a mutual friend by pulling off the ultimate big con and swindling a fortune from a big-time mobster. Released on Christmas Day, 1973, the number one song in the country, The Most Beautiful Girl by Charlie Rich. I'll be honest,
I don't know that one.
Never heard of it. Sorry, y'all. In world news, Gerald Ford was sworn in as the first unelected vice president. In entertainment news, the Pirates of the Caribbean ride opens in Magic Kingdom this month.
Woohoo!
And in sports news, famed running back O.J. Simpson became the first running back to rush for 2,000 yards in a season. Go Bills.
Whatever became of him?
Honestly, no idea. Directed by George Roy Hill, this movie stars Paul Newman, Robert Redford, Robert Shaw, and Eileen Brennan, an alum of You Haven't Seen That. Shout out Clue. With a $5.5 million budget, this movie grossed $257 million at the global box office. Incredible returns. That's what, 50x? Amazing stuff.
Crazy.
Sure.
This also debuted right around the time of The Exorcist, another very famous and very successful movie. This movie was constantly in The Exorcist's shadow. It did not reach number one at the box office until its 14th weekend, which then was overtaken for a couple weeks and then was number one again for weekend 17 through 21.
It's
this
so wild
movie,
how long movies used to be in the theaters.
Right?
Yeah, that's crazy.
Seriously.
But
I don't
there wasn't home video, there wasn't streaming, you know.
I guess. It's just something I never thought about before. I always thought movies nowadays, like when Sinners was in the theaters for like 2-3 months, and I'm like, wow, that's crazy. And then a couple of movies we've talked about in here, it's like, oh, I forget which one we just watched. That was in the
Back to
theaters
the Future
for like,
was a year.
Yeah. What on earth? That's insane.
Unbelievable. This movie finished number 2 at the box office for 1973 releases, only behind The Exorcist. And adjusted for inflation, this is the 21st highest grossing movie of all time. This movie is widely celebrated, hence why it's being covered this month. Rotten Tomatoes score of 92, 83 on Metacritic, and the Writers Guild of America named it number 39 of the 101 greatest original screenplays of all time. This movie was nominated for 10 Academy Awards and won 7. It won Best Picture, Best Director, Best Original Screenplay, Best Art Direction, aka Production Design, Best Costume Design, Best Editing, and Best Score. It lost and was nominated for Best Actor for Robert Redford, who lost to Jack Lemmon. It lost in Cinematography, which lost to Cries and Whispers, and it lost Best Sound to The Exorcist. And for Best Picture, it defeated American Graffiti, Cries and Whispers, The Exorcist, and A Touch of Class.
I've
So what you're
seen
telling
American
me-
Graffiti.
Nice. I weirdly
Well,
haven't.
maybe like not all of it, but I definitely saw part of it back in my Happy Days era.
There you go. That makes sense. Yeah, I've only seen The Exorcist on that list.
I've seen
Cries and
some
Whispers.
of them.
I think I've seen Cries and Whispers as well, now that I think about it. Weirdly enough. But yeah, good movie here.
All right. So I think that this is a first time watch for everyone. Okay. So
no history.
Likely not too much history, but let's go around and say a sentence.
I've seen Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid, which paired Paul Newman and Robert Redford together. So I was very excited to check this one out.
Ben.
I have not seen this one, but I have seen a few Robert Redford movies. I've seen All the President's Men and Ordinary People off the top of my head.
Nice.
And I was just, he just died recently, so I was looking at all his movies. I think those were the only two I had seen before this.
All right. And I had seen nothing with any of these people mostly. And I didn't know what this movie was about at all.
I knew what it
never
was
heard
about,
of
but I knew what it was about, but I didn't know the tone of it.
Gotcha.
Yes.
Yeah. Never heard of it. Didn't know anything. I was assuming it was some sort of caper con heisty type of situation.
You think it was about like a giant insect?
Yeah. I was like, it's like the birds, but it's the sting. What animal is stinging you? I don't know. All right. Well, Geoff, why don't you give us your score?
Oh, putting me on the spot right off the bat. I had a blast with this movie. Thought it was very, very fun. I don't know if I would have picked this over The Exorcist for Best Picture that year, but doesn't matter. I had a great time with it. I think Newman and Redford's chemistry is off the charts. I think it's incredibly fun. Was not expecting the tone of this. I know we'll probably get into it, but was not expecting the kind of tone this movie sets. And I very much enjoyed this ride. I'll give it a 4.25.
All right. What about you, Ben?
I liked it. I feel like I said this about Big Lebowski, which is a very different movie, but I liked the vibes more than the plot.
Mm-hmm.
And not in the like Big Lebowski was like just a chill vibes, but by the vibes for this one, I mean like I thought it was gorgeous to look at. I thought it was like really a fascinating watch. I thought the plot was a little convoluted unnecessarily, but I still enjoyed it. I'm gonna give it a 4.25 as well.
Nice.
Is that what you said, Geoff?
That is.
Yeah.
I like it.
I made like a Tony Romo sound there. I apologize. Now I'm
You
gonna
take
get
that out of
roasted online.
Oh, I don't know, Jim.
All right. I also enjoyed this movie. I didn't think, I always get nervous when we watch these old movies because I'm like, is this going to be another Chinatown?
Yeah.
But no, similar to The Apartment. It was
We've
an
been
older movie.
hitting better with our old movies.
Yeah.
We have.
Yeah, it was an older one that I definitely enjoyed. So I also am giving it a 4.25.
I love it. Beautiful.
Is this only like the second time we've all tied?
I don't know, but
We don't do it very often.
We don't do it very often.
I feel like we probably did that for The Godfather.
Godfather was close. I think
Oh.
Ben
I
was
gave
the
it a 4.75.
Rude. Maybe this is the only one we've tied on then.
Maybe.
It's crazy. I love it. This makes it, of the 33 movies we've done this season, it puts it in 9th place. Just behind Pulp Fiction and just ahead of movies like 50 First Dates, Death Becomes Her.
Just the all-time greats.
I love it.
Pulp Fiction, The Sting, 50 First Dates, Death Becomes Her.
They're all important in different ways.
Oh my gosh.
Rating
Ben, I had a feeling you would like this movie, Ben. When the movie starts and they had like the TV style-esque rollout of those intro credits, I'm like, I think this is gonna hit for Ben big time.
And I love The Entertainer, the song The Entertainer.
Yeah.
So I like that they were doing that.
That threw me for such a loop when the movie started and that's what was playing and this game. I was like, wait a second. I thought this was about con men and pulling a heist and whatever. It feels
Right.
more tense. I'm used to more tense movies
Yeah.
like this. This is getting goofy. What's happening now?
And I think when I like pulled it up to watch, or maybe when I was like searching it before to see how long it was, because sometimes I do that before I commit to the night. Like I was like, I think I read the like comedy, and I was like, oh, it's a comedy. Like, and I don't think I knew that until that moment. So then, right before I started watching, and then when I started watching, I was like, okay, this is a very different tone than I had thought it was going to be.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, they really got use of the entertainer throughout that movie.
They did.
But I also enjoyed the intro credits and just like the vibe of it all. My first note is what a picture.
Oh yeah. But like the interesting thing is like the entertainer and all those like for the title cards were there, but then like there was like no underscoring.
No.
Which is I think more common back then, but like it's just like I feel like so many movies today are overscored that like it's interesting like how much silence there was.
Gives the movie time to breathe, lets you soak in the conversation, really highlights the screenplay of it, which is always a good thing to do. So it's a really good catch.
Like there's no way that like some of those sequences, like those action sequences, would not be like having some pulsing score in 2026.
Oh yeah, something super dramatic and with rapid fire cuts, and I know that's just evolution of technology or whatever.
It'd be like the one battle after another going on the road at the end. I feel like it'd be that kind of scoring nowadays.
Yeah. All you could hear was his little tap shoes on the pavement. Tip, 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 tip.
And I read one thing I read about this movie was they deliberately avoided using extras because they wanted to resemble 30s films that didn't really use extras. So like, you know, I mean, they're in Chicago and there's like nobody on the streets. Right. And I guess that was like an intentional decision.
Interesting.
I like that choice.
Yeah. I don't know that I've ever watched a 30s movie, so I don't know. I personally cannot speak to how well they did that, but I believe you that they did a good job.
I think doing that puts more emphasis on your leads and your major characters and allows you to follow them, especially in a movie like this where agents are tailing people and you got to keep an eye on things and you're bumping into people to pickpocket them. And a lot of those individual moments are highlighted. So if you have too many people around the screen or you're reusing things or whatever, that stuff gets lost and that doesn't have the impact that it ultimately gets. So I think they made the right call. That's a really good detail there, Ben.
Well, you can thank Wikipedia.
Thanks, Wikipedia. Yeah. You're the one who did your homework.
It was interesting to see, like, you know, Robert Redford in this because obviously he just passed away a few months ago. Like, to see him he seems so young and full of life. Like, I'm like, this guy just died at 89, you know? Like, and he just, you know, it was like makes you realize. I mean, you know, like, I know this movie now was over 50 years ago at this point, but like it still is wild to me.
Oh yeah, it's unbelievable, and he just oozes charisma and suave.
He was
and that
great.
sort of
I personally liked him a lot more than Paul Newman.
I do too. I feel like I thought Paul Newman was good, but I think Robert Redford was more expressive, kind of gave off the youthful energy needed for a character like that in juxtaposition against Paul Newman's character as well. So where Paul Newman's playing the wily vet and everything, so he needs to be more scaled back. He's seen some stuff. He can't be at that same sort of energy level. So, but yeah, it does feel like I think Paul Newman's kind of going through the motions, but I think it works for his character.
I liked Paul Newman a little bit more than Robert Redford.
Oh, really? What's your reasoning?
You know, I just like the way he did it.
You're like, he's hotter. Silver Fox, baby.
I mean, he had those baby blues.
I'm sitting there in that shower.
Dressing.
I saw someone make a comment that said, you know, they did the like colorization of this movie specifically so that his eyes would look more blue and so that the blood on Robert Redford's mouth would look more red.
Like it did look very red.
Very red.
It did. It was almost like a Twilight hue going on there where certain things are more accentuated. No,
Such
I
a
just
fall movie. This
yeah. But no, I really enjoyed Paul Newman's performance. I feel like Robert Redford was a little more like all over the place. I don't know. Like I just didn't really maybe it's more I just didn't really vibe with his character, but I appreciated Paul Newman's obvious like mastery of some of these skills that he was showing off.
Oh, for sure. Watching him do little card tricks in the train, I was like, this is cool. I'm such a simple man. I'm like, this is cool.
On Robert Redford's face when he messed up the one shuffle.
That was
and
good.
They like zoomed in on him. He's like, huh? I was like what's happening? I really did love that scene, the poker scene.
Oh, the poker scene was so good.
Yeah.
I was just waiting for it.
I love things on a train too. I love like the glamour of.
You do love a train movie.
Everybody knows I love train things. I felt like just to like I feel like we've been saying a lot of things we liked about it, and I did like a lot of this movie, but I felt like there were parts that were a little hard to follow for me. And I always feel like that happens in these types of movies where it just like gets a little convoluted, the plot. And I don't think it was poorly written or anything. Obviously, the screenplay is very well acclaimed. But I just feel like sometimes, I don't know, sometimes these feel unnecessarily complicated, some of these plots in movies like this.
Sometimes in the old-timey movies, we gotta speak in code. People gotta have nicknames. People gotta have like those mob guys gotta have whatever. And this guy's hunting after this guy. And you got to, I totally get what you're saying.
Yeah, I was very confused and I'm still confused. Don't try to explain it to me. I've asked Geoff like twice and I still don't totally understand like the lady who was gonna try to assassinate Robert Redford. Like when the guy who was saving him like explained who she was really quick, I was like, what? I'm so confused. Like I don't understand who she is, who she's working for. Like I don't get it. I don't understand. And I still don't understand. But
I always like when I get into movies like this, and I feel like it happens a lot with these types of movies, especially older ones, but sometimes ones now. I'm just like, am I dumb? Like, why am I like, why am I having a hard time sticking with the plot here? And I was like enjoying it, and you know, but I'm like, why am I like not remembering which characters are, you know, like who they're referring to in some of these scenes and stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
And it didn't help that some of them were like being other, you know, they were posing as other characters. Like,
yeah, there's a lot of characters.
I mean, you know, I have trouble with names anyway. I can never remember them by the time we get on the podcast. And aside from I remember the actors' names, not the characters' names ever. Do you know, this is a little sidebar, but you know, that's what we do. I sometimes when I'm like lying in bed at night, I often need to like do things to like get myself to sleep. Like, because I like read for a while or whatever, and then I like need to like actually fall asleep. And if I'm really tired, I can just fall asleep. But if I've gotten more sleep, especially back before I had a child, but sometimes now, you know, then I need to like do something to like get, you know, and so I'll like run through things in my head. Like, it's like what I do. Like, I'll like go through like the last 20 Super Bowl winners or Super Bowl losers or something. Just like I don't know, maybe it's like my like, I don't know, weird side of me. But anyway, that's not really the point of what I'm trying to say.
And speaking of this, next time we actually see each other in person, we just need to get in a group, just like us bunch, and just start rattling off names of football players. Like I've seen be a new trend on social media, be like, dude, remember this? Remember this game? Remember Donald Driver? Remember Greg Jennings?
I remember Donald Driver. No, but one of the things I do is I think about one of a show I watch, like a show I watch regularly currently, and I go through, I'm like, can I name all the characters on this show? And usually the answer is no. Even if it's a show I'm currently watching.
That's fair.
I'm like even a show I love, like The Pit. We were just talking about The Pit before we got on to record it. I can remember the actor. I can always remember the actor's name. I'm like Patrick Ball's character. And I struggle. I don't know what it is about character names. I just can't like hold those in my brain.
I almost think I don't want to say it's a fault of social media, but it's almost because of the relationship we have with celebrities nowadays. And the fact that maybe some of these big names,
I actually feel like most people are the opposite. They can name the character, not the actor.
which I guess is why
that's
Marvel
usually
has been
me.
so successful.
It's definitely Amanda.
Hey, I'm better now.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I hear you though. Like there's, especially in this movie, there's a lot of different characters. Like you said, sometimes they're posing as other characters as
Right.
part of, their big con. In addition to that, they talk really fast, as they tend to do in older movies, and they
Yeah.
use some
Mhm.
lingo that
Yeah,
is
the
not
lingo too, I
necessarily.
think is.
Yeah, it's a combination for me of it being like outdated
Yeah.
and trying to keep up with it, but also there was a lot of like betting language
Yes.
and that
Yeah.
kind of
Like
stuff
a
in here,
world you're
which
not that familiar with on top of it being dated.
yeah, exactly. So like I think for the first couple minutes of this movie, like when they were talking about something, I couldn't even tell you what was happening. Like I have no idea. It was like a couple guys in an office like talking about something. No idea. Could not tell you. I was like, wow, this movie's gonna be rough.
Clearly, Amanda hasn't paid attention to the 20,000 FanDuel commercials that have aired during the football season this year.
I mean, I don't know what those are saying either.
No, I hear you there in terms of the old-timey names. I had to pull up some of the names here with the quote here, looking at guys named like Horseface Lee and Slim Miller and the Big
Yes.
Alabama, Suitcase Murphy. I love it. But when you were talking about the twist at the end with the Salino reveal, I just think as I sat there and was soaking in that moment, which I loved the twists at the end of this movie. I was so caught off guard. I was not expecting it. I probably should
Yeah,
have.
I was.
But I wasn't expecting
Yeah.
it at all.
Yeah, I
But
was like, oh, I should have gotten it, but I didn't.
right. But I just found it to be so rewarding when, even in the beginning, when they're starting to get the idea about Lonigan and the one guy's giving him kind of the scouting report, if you will, saying like, oh, this guy stops by these offices, but he doesn't look at the details. He just wants to get the high level story and then bounce. And then Lonigan meets with these guys and says, oh, hey, the two guys we hired to kill him failed. And he's like, okay, I'm going to bring in Salino. Just take care of it. If he had maybe dug through the details a little bit, he probably would have found out about, Hooker's name, past, and probably his face. And then when Salino shows up there at the end, it's like, or why Lonergan was not able to piece together the details that like, oh, the guy that hit our sort of money transpo guy was the same dude who's running this con here. Like it's so rewarding kind of reading like the little details and how they've built up on each other. And at the end, I was like, oh my gosh, this all makes so much sense. That Lonergan was not able to pick up on who Hooker was, that this Salino would just come out of nowhere. And the fact that they led it with this mystery assassin protector guy who was ultimately hired by Gondorf to be like, hey, protect Hooker at all costs. Like, it's so rewarding. And I loved that. I can understand exactly why the screenplay is so celebrated, and it was executed really well.
Yeah, I love it when there's a movie and they're doing something right, and we're like in on the thing that they're doing, but then they do something that we're not in on.
Yeah.
AKA like the twist at the end of this movie.
Yeah.
Because I don't know, you're just like, oh, we're seeing all the inner workings of how they're going to trick this big dumb guy over here. And then you're like not even suspecting that they could be tricking you at the same time.
Right.
I was so sad. I was like, no, the FBI is going to get Gondorf. No.
Now I want to know, I would love to know if a movie like this came out today, they'd be like, oh, that is so unrealistic. Oh, how could there were no clues. There was no anything. Like, come on. They just dropped that in out of nowhere. So.
Well, and twists have become such a thing now, that's, I think, why people were so like excited by Parasite, because like twists I feel like are easy to catch now in many ways. Or even if they're not easy to catch, they're not surprising, and they're not like exciting. They're like been there, done that kind of thing. And I think that's why people were so taken by Parasite, because it was like it did catch people off guard, or at least it caught me off guard.
Hey, it caught me off guard. All I saw for that movie was just reviews coming in with being like, "Don't look anything up. Avoid spoilers if you can. Try to avoid this or that." I was like, "Okay, whatever you say."
Yeah.
And
the thing that was like, sometimes when you hear that, you like look for it.
Yep.
You know, and like I still feel like that one was surprising.
For sure. And this one too. This one too, definitely.
Like
And
I
loved
remember
it.
the switching over to TV there, but like when everyone was saying about the twist at the end of the first episode of Paradise,
Mhm.
I was like, oh, okay, so I'm gonna watch for it. And then I kind of I didn't totally get there, but I was like
Yeah.
there enough to like not be totally like blown away. And it's fun when that does happen. So you know, I think
for
that's
sure.
cool.
Definitely. Oh, one
Yeah.
other detail I totally forgot about with Selena was that when Robert Redford goes to the diner, or Hooker goes to the diner, I'll use his character name, and he meets Selena posing as a waitress, and he's like, "Oh, what happened to so and so? Oh, she's got the night off," or "Oh, she's on vacation," or whatever. Like, oh, there's another detail, the face he's never seen before, and yeah, was so good.
One of the one of the lines I enjoyed just because I was like, this would play so differently in 2026 as a line was when they were when the guy came into the like the underground, the bar or whatever, and they were looking through the little door from the office, and he was like, I never saw him before, he's a dick though. I was like,
That was very funny.
I'd like
That
to
was
see you
very
say,
good.
but it would mean something different.
Very, very good.
The one line that I wrote down, and I don't remember who said it to who at this point, but it was just, "You stink, mister." And it was like a grown man talking to another grown man. It was not like a little kid.
I'm glad you brought that up because I feel like, is there ever like, I feel like when I watch movies like this or mafia movies, Godfather, Sopranos, stuff like that, movies or TV shows, like I sometimes always feel like people who are into that kind of thing when are grown men just feel like little boys, like there's like something about like that lifestyle that feels very like little boys playing dress up to me.
I
Like
could
that
see
they're
that.
just like the petty little squabbles and the like, I don't know, just I've always had that, you know, don't kill me mafia, but I've always had that kind of view of the mafia that just feels like you know, Arrested Development little boys kind of thing.
I mean, it is at the heart of it, right?
Yeah. Like this dude just wants to be more
you
rich
look
than the
at
other
me the
guy.
wrong way, I'm gonna kill you. Like it's
Right? Yeah.
like that's what a 5-year-old like does. Like
You stink, mister.
yeah, exactly.
Gosh. I love the fact that Gondorf's motivation ultimately for this is just he's in it for the love of the game, and Hooker's motivation ultimately in this is I want to get some revenge, and ultimately doesn't care about the money at the end of the day, but he's got his new Luther, and it made me so happy to see that. I know it's a very romanticized view of it all, but it was nice to see.
Yeah. I want to know how much money they actually ended up with. Like, I guess Gondorf, if you know, Hooker didn't actually want the money, but after the number of people that they needed to pay for that entire con, plus the, you know, the space, the equipment, the suits, like everything, they put so much money into that con. Like, I don't even know what they would have done if they didn't end up actually getting the money.
Well, I gotta think. So, just quick mental math here. They ended up taking $500,000 off of Lonergan at the end of the day. I think they only paid him out like a couple thousand ultimately throughout the movie. And so that leaves them with like let's say like $490,000, which quick math, I looked it up during this movie because when they jacked $11,000 off of the one runner guy who was going to go from Gillette, Illinois to Chicago, they stole $11,000 off of him. In today money, this was in 1936, $11,000. Today's money, that's $256,000. So roughly that's what, 20x? Ballpark, I know it's a little bit more than that, but if we use ballpark, you know, $500,000 ultimately times 20 is what, 10 million, I think, if I did my math right. So sure, we'll go with that. Apologies, everybody. But
Math Corner with Geoff.
There's no way to know.
No way to know. So I think based on how they would probably pay people out, And it seemed like a lot of these people were in need of a job anyway, so they could probably get them a little cheap. And the guy who gave them the place just wanted a flat rate, ultimately. I honestly don't think they spent that much. I think they've still got plenty of money left over.
Oh, I'm sure. I'm sure.
Plenty of cash.
I just want to know how much.
Enough.
Enough.
And Hooker just blow it all by spending however many thousands on red.
Yeah.
So stupid. As soon as he died, I was like, oh my gosh, you're an idiot.
What a dummy.
So dumb. Yeah.
I also would like to give a shout out to Harold Gould, friend of the pod, Harold Gould, who played Twist in this. We saw him, of course, in Freaky Friday as the grandpa.
Oh.
But back in these times, he was on Rhoda at the same time, or around the same time this movie was made. This movie is shortly before Rhoda. He played Rhoda's dad. Anyway, I thought he was Twist in this, and I thought he was really fun.
He was really good.
I
loved it.
Twist?
Twist was the guy who pretended to be Hooker's number 2 in the messaging or in the betting scheme. So he's the guy who was
the white hair, wears the fedora.
Oh,
put on the glasses at one point.
Yeah, one of the painters.
Yes, one of the painters.
Yeah. Okay.
I just thought he had a fun sensibility, and I like him.
Oh yeah,
I'm always, and he's. I think we talked about this when we did Freaky Friday. That he's looked old. He looked old from like 1970 until he died in like 2000 something.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yeah. That's crazy. Yeah, that scene, the whole taking over of the Western Union thing in the office is so good, so well executed.
Yeah,
I love that stuff.
Speaking of character names, second movie this season with a kind of main character named Luther. That's weird.
What was the other one?
Christmas with the Cranks.
Oh yes.
I've blocked that out of my memory.
As soon as they were like Luther, I was like, oh, it's another one. Just not a very common name.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Hold on. I just am learning this now. This is my bad. So I just did research. Luther was played by Robert Earl Jones, who is the father of James Earl Jones.
Oh, fun.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Look at that.
Huh.
You know, I can see that now that you mention it. Like,
I know, right?
Like he kind of looks like him.
I didn't know he had a famous father.
I didn't know he had a father.
I almost said that, and I was like, nope. Nope, rephrase it.
That's cool. That's I liked him. I mean, I know he wasn't in a ton of it, but I liked him and the part he was in.
Justice for Luther.
Yeah. Hashtag.
I thought it was very fun to see that dynamic. I could tell right off the bat that Hooker was someone who never came from money and someone who maybe has had I don't want to say a troubled past, but a troubled past. Maybe grew up poor, lost family, what have you. And I like this relationship that they've showed where Hooker shows up at Luther's apartment. He knows his family. They're all super friendly. Luther's done this for a while. There was so much achieved in just a couple of minutes as soon as Hooker walks into that apartment in terms of telling the story and setting the scene and painting these characters. I loved it. And yeah, I love their dynamic. Yes, like you said, as brief as it was. I was fooled right from the jump.
Yeah.
Right from their first con.
I was glad. So when the first con was happening, I didn't realize that it was a con. But when Luther came out, I was like, man, this guy's really bad at acting. Just the way he was like, help. I was like, this guy's a really bad actor. So I was very relieved to learn that it was a con and the actor was trying to act through the character. And I was like, okay, thank goodness.
You know, I feel like we kind of talked about this right when we were giving our scores, but this is such a visually stunning movie.
It really is. It's gorgeous.
The aesthetic of it all, I was reading that it was mostly filmed on the Universal back lot, and yet boy, it is just looks like no expense was spared, no detail was not, attended to.
Yeah.
Just and like creating both Joliet and Chicago of the 1930s. Like it was just really, really beautiful to look at.
So good, so well executed. And I think the indoor scenes you could get away with because in theory it's just, oh, we could just go into this building, we could borrow a few rooms, no problems there. The outdoor shots could easily be sold. Now, I'd probably be a lot harder. I'm even trying to think about it now. I'm like, I guess you could paint whatever this place is as a small town, or you can film it in this area for a city. But even then, like the couple of scenes where the cars are driving through, I'm like, that's Chicago. I believe it.
Yeah. And the illustrations for the, I don't know what you want to call them, like chapter cards, were also really nice. And you know, if you look this movie up on Letterboxd, there's a lot of different cover pictures that you can select for this movie, and they are all like really gorgeous drawings in the same style. So they obviously like went into a lot of detail to get those as well.
And that's I think what's like missing in today's world is like getting these like artistic films that are also mega blockbusters.
Yep.
Like you just, I mean, sometimes they happen still, but like you talk about like the two highest grossing films of that year, like you said, Geoff, were The Exorcist and this which were also up for Best Picture, which are also crowd pleasing popcorn movies and yet cinematic achievements. Like I feel like now it's like you've got your big popcorn blockbusters and then you've got your, you know, Oscar players, and every once in a while they cross over, you know, Barbie or Oppenheimer, but like so often they don't. And the ones that are really like the most visually stunning and the most interesting and the most you know, like gutsy and unique and you know, with a vision from a director, those are not the ones that are packing in, you know, the number one franchise movies opening at the box office at number one. And like it's just too bad because I feel like there used to be a lot more overlap between those two.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
What you mean to tell me that a Minecraft movie and Lilo and Stitch are not getting nominated for Best Picture this year?
It's you know, it's, and obviously there were trash movies back then too, but I just feel like the separation of box office and artistic has been a sad trend.
Agreed.
And it's nice whenever things do break through.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Which did happen to some degree. I mean, I think you could argue Sinners, you know, was a breakthrough on that front, but there's still only a few of them every year. I feel like the overlap between the top 10 box office winners and the Best Picture nominees probably used to overlap a lot more than they do now. I don't have any proof of that, but I'm just saying it.
Neither do I.
I think that's fair. It's all about the money.
Certainly they were more, you know, because there weren't really small art house films back then to, you know, like your Best Picture things had to come from the bigger hits, but they also were more artistically minded, the big hits too.
For sure.
You know, now it's like every couple years we get and the next iteration of a franchise, whereas back then it was like, okay, every year Robert Redford's going to do a movie and people are going to come out and see it, and you know, and they're going to be all different. They're not going to be him playing the same character every time, but people are going to come see it because he's in it. And you know, if you look through the 70s, he had hit after hit after hit after hit, you know, and each one was very different, but not each of them, but most of them were box office smashes and artistic, you know, critically loved films.
For sure. A quick question for the group. Do you guys know, and Ben, I don't know if you've looked this up. If you haven't, don't. What is Robert Redford's number one movie at the box office?
Well, I feel like it's got to be this.
Amanda?
I don't know any of his other movies.
I mean, I can't even name other Robert Redford
It is actually the incredibly prestigious Avengers Endgame.
Oh, jeez.
Who is he in Endgame?
He shows up as Alex
Tony Stark.
Pierce, the head of S.H.I.E.L.D. Hydra. Because his second highest grossing movie, Captain America: The Winter Soldier, he is the bad guy.
But when you adjust for inflation.
If we adjust for inflation, yes, the Sting. Oh, actually, it'd be close. It would be close between Avengers and Endgame.
It'd be above Captain America for sure.
Yes, definitely. This is, if we go straight off of numbers, this is number 6 for Robert Redford. Now, how about
I
Paul
kind of
Newman?
forgot he was in some of those Marvel movies at the end.
I know, right? Now, Paul Newman, can we guess his number one movie at the box office?
No.
I'll give you all a hint. You don't actually see his face.
So an animated movie?
Maybe.
I don't know.
I don't know.
I'll give you Amanda will get this. I'll give you a hint, babe. Ka-chow.
Oh, Cars.
Is Doc
that's
Hudson
right.
in Cars.
That's right. I didn't know he was that.
Mm-hmm.
That's really sad because I looked at his filmography too and I just couldn't remember.
I don't even know if I've seen Paul Newman in anything like besides Cars. And it's like I'm trying to think.
Yeah, which is weird to say. It's crazy. Kind of the look.
It's like the Doc car, right?
Oh,
Yes.
I saw Absence of Malice. It's a
Oh,
random one, but I
that
did
is
see
super
that.
random.
We watched that in school in like a journalism class in high school
Oh, nice.
because I think it's if I
Random.
remember right, it's about like a journalistic integrity kind of plot.
That would make sense that they would show that movie in a journalism
Yeah.
class. Nice. I do love their dynamic. I think I like their dynamic in Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid a little bit more, but I still love the moments that they're on screen together. They play off each other so well. Also, shout out Robert Shaw. I enjoyed Lonergan. Thought he was a good villain.
Yeah, he was good.
Just as well, I wouldn't say just as like weird as he's more menacing in this, but he's more weird in Jaws. And Jaws, he's iconic. But yeah, this is a very fun role.
Yeah.
So I guess ultimately, as we're, I think, kind of wrapping up this conversation, how successful do you think we'll all be at the horse track next time we go?
Well, I would like to mention that they were
Not
talking
at
about
all.
horses in Narragansett, which is where my family and I vacationed last summer.
Oh, nice.
It took me a long time to say that place correctly, even when we were staying there.
We got a beer named after it. Or,
But,
okay.
it's a cool place.
Did you bet on horses while you were there?
I did not. I don't think they
Okay.
have horses up there anymore. Oh, I mean, I'm sure they have horses, but I don't think they have horse racing. I think horses
They
are
don't have
extinct
horse.
from
Can't get your tips, 15 minutes in advance, so you won't know the results until.
No, it's a
It
cool little
happens.
spot. It's
Yeah.
yeah. Rhode Island is a cool little state, and that's a cool little spot of Rhode Island.
Yeah. They hunted all the horses. Now they're gone. Extinct.
All the ones that won at the racetrack were taken off to their own respective farms, and all the ones that lost, well,
You could just go to the seaside restaurants, and you can get either seafood or horse meat.
Maybe all the horses from there are the horses that go down to Assateague to do I don't know. The horses run there.
yeah,
It's
the
like
ones on
what
the
it-
beach.
Yeah, it's like what it's famous for. The horses run there on the beach. So maybe they all migrated from
Maybe. There's just too many people here. This sounds like a Pixar movie in the making.
Oh yeah, there's no people in Assateague. Or no, is it? No, sorry, I might be misspeaking. It might be Chincoteague, not
I don't know.
Assateague. I think they're both real places, but I think Chincoteague's the one with the horse beach.
Oh, we've gone to a weird
Anywho.
place here.
Good movie. It's one of those tough things where it's like, this movie is fantastic, and there's so many good things to say about it. And it's just kind of
Yeah.
where it's like, we've said a lot of good things.
Well, we've talked about it's always easier to rip apart a bad movie and to spend those are longer episodes of the podcast.
Yeah. All right. Well, Geoff, do you want to give us our movie recommendations for the week?
Sure. And I'm going to need some help with one of these, and I'll pull probably Amanda more so. But
Rude.
so Ben, I know you haven't seen one of the movies I'm thinking of. So
Okay.
we'll get there. So number one is, I've said it multiple times on this podcast, but Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid. Robert Redford and Paul Newman on screen together in an amazing, incredible Western. Cannot recommend that movie enough. So fun to watch. Number two is Martin Scorsese's The Color of Money, where Paul Newman plays a hustler with a young protege under his wing.
It's green. The Color of Money.
Oh my gosh. I was like, what are you talking about? Wow.
Bravo.
Sorry.
Okay. Thanks for that dad joke.
So the young protege in that movie, we have Robert Redford in this one. Does anyone know the young protege in The Color of Money that goes under Paul Newman's wing?
I do not.
Tom
No.
Cruise.
Is it Timothy Chalamet?
It is not Timothy Chalamet. Honestly, if The Color of Money was filmed today, it probably would be Timothy Chalamet. But no, it's Tom Cruise.
Oh, that's right. I did know that.
And then number 3 is, so last year when we did this series, I recommended a Best Picture contender and a nominee for one of the movies that we paired with the movies that we covered. So now I'm trying to find the movie to pair with this one. I've got 2. I would say if you're looking for a movie where someone is trying to trick somebody else, I'd recommend Begonia. If you're looking for someone where a guy is constantly trying to con other people out of money and get money out of other people, I'd go with Marty Supreme. Amanda, which would you recommend based on those 2?
Which one fits better with this movie, or which one do I recommend people watch?
Let's go with which movie fits better with the...
Which one pairs better? Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess Marty Supreme.
Yeah, we would be
Spoiler,
Team Begonia.
when we get to our Oscars episode, I don't think Amanda cared for Marty Supreme.
Yeah, probably
See
Marty
her
Supreme.
face right now when she said that the title.
Yeah, it's probably Marty Supreme. But if you want to see an original movie that was gangbusters at the box office and also nominated for Best Picture, watch Sinners. So there you go. There's 5 movies to check out with. Could be any of
Sinners
them.
was the same time period.
That's true. That's a good point. 1930s.
There you go.
All right, fine. Maybe it's Sinners after all.
I don't know. Marty Supreme feels slightly more relevant.
It does.
Yeah. Anywho, Ben, let's hear our TV recs.
I had a hard time coming up with TV recommendations, but I came up with 2, of which I've not really seen a lot of episodes of either one, but I've seen enough to know that they kind of fit. They're kind of similar, so I'm just going to say them together. They are Leverage and White Collar, which are both kind of lighthearted, circa 2010 dramas that were in the cable boom of that time period, that are just kind of crime dramas, but they're very, very fluffy, and both kind of about con artists working to kind of pull off, Leverage I think more specifically is maybe a little closer to this, but I think they both have some of those vibes to it. Neither one is as artistically ambitious as The Sting, but they're fun.
Nice.
All right. Well, thank you both for those recommendations. So let's move into our top 4. Like I mentioned, we're doing top 4 animals that we wouldn't want to be stung by. Is Robert Redford one of those animals? I don't know. Maybe. We'll find out.
Hooker can sting me anytime.
All right. Well, Ben, why don't you give us your list first tonight?
Oh, sure. Well, I'd like to preface by saying I would not like to be stung by any animal at any time, but I'm gonna
very important caveat there.
I don't have any honorable mentions. I just made a top 4. 2 of them I just decided on my own, and 2 of them I decided to add to the list after doing some research on animals that sting. And by research, I mean a very quick Google search that lasted a few minutes. So my number 4, scorpions. Yeah, scorpion sting. My number 3 and 2 are 2 animals I learned about today, and I don't feel as good about life after reading about these 2 today. Number 3, I'm going to say them together because they kind of remind me of each other. Number 3 is a bullet ant, and number 2 is an executioner wasp, which I had not learned of either of them, but apparently their stings are incredibly painful that last for a very long time and cause other symptoms too. And I was just not super thrilled. I don't think either of them live around here, so I don't really have anything to worry about. But I just don't even like knowing that I share a world with these things, especially Executioner Wasp. Like, somebody had a lot of fun with that name. Like,
that sounds so metal. It's unbelievable.
That feels like it feels like a band name or something.
Seriously.
I think those are the same thing as the murder hornets, no?
Are they?
Oh my gosh.
I thought I read somewhere that they were like the same thing. They just had 2 different names. I could be wrong.
I don't think they're the same thing from what I was reading.
Okay, never mind. Disregard.
There's probably some similarities. So anyway, yeah, an executioner wasp. I mean, I think wasps are the worst of the stinging, family of like bees and things like that. But it says what happens if you get stung by an executioner wasp? The sting site begins to itch, and it will last upwards of an entire week after the initial agonizing, intense pain. So no, thank you.
Yeah,
Sounds fun.
And then the bullet ant sounds even worse because known for its extremely painful sting. But yeah, both of them are like, at least the bullet ant is a rainforest type animal. Anyway, I'm going to stop researching these two because I don't want to know more about them. My number one is jellyfish. And the reason I'm putting jellyfish at number one is my family has vacationed in Cape May, New Jersey for many years, off and on. We go every few years or whatever. Back to when I was a kid, and we go with my cousins. And there was one summer, the summer of 2000, where we got to the beach the first day, and all of us kids, I was the oldest, I was like 13, and all my cousins were younger than that. So all of us kids, probably ages, like 3 to 13 or whatever, we all get to the beach the first day and we all go running into the water like we always do. And we're like jumping in, and we all come out after about 10 minutes itching like crazy. And it was because that particular summer, the way the currents were or whatever led to a lot of jellyfish tentacles just being out there. And so they weren't actual jellyfish, but just their tentacles. And think about how itchy that was that summer. I was like, that was just their tentacles kind of brushing along the water. I don't need to get stung by an actual jellyfish. So there we go.
Yeah.
That is definitely fair. And I'll have a fun tie-in to your story, Ben, when it comes around to be my turn.
I'm excited.
Yeah. Geoff, let's hear your list.
All right, Ben, we've got some crossover, but that's okay. So my number four animal is Steve Borden, who goes by the wrestling name Sting. He uses a metal bat as his main weapon. Longtime WWE, TNA, AEW wrestler. This is a shout out to all the wrestling heads out there. Don't know too much about him. Didn't watch a ton of wrestling, but you know what? He was pretty tough, and I wouldn't want to get stung by him.
Yeah.
I'll
take your word for it.
Number 3 is jellyfish. The only reason jellyfish isn't higher is because A, I've not personally experienced jellyfish. B, they're in the water. But still, sounds awful. I've seen Finding Nemo. They seem terrifying and terrible. No, thank you. Number 2, I have scorpions as well, because I just in my mind, it's one of those things where I know I looked it up, and I know scorpions, there are some scorpions that can kill you, most that can't, but they're all venomous of some kind. Like, I've just always had it in my mind where I'm like, oh, if I get stung by a scorpion, I'm just dead. That just sounds terrible, which I guess is not true, but either way, don't want it to happen. And then number 1 is murder hornet. I mean, murder hornet. That sounds terrifying and terrible. Just no thank you whatsoever. Yeah, hard pass. They just look scary. It's one of those where, as someone who does not do well with bugs of any kind, it's just a big no from me, dog.
Yeah, that's fair. All right. I also do not have any honorable mentions, but my number 4 is a bumblebee. I mean, this is really the only thing on my list that I'm going to come into interaction with on a regular basis. I mean, I guess, regular wasps and whatever, I would come into contact with those, but like just bumblebees, man. Like, just remember growing up and running through the grass, and all of a sudden, bam, you stepped on a bee, and that's the end of your day, ruined. Not only did you get stung, you also killed the bee inadvertently. Now they're all dying. Anyways, it's not like the most painful thing in the world, but probably the most common for you and I to get stung by a bee. My number 3 is a platypus, because I didn't even know that platypuses could.
Oh, that's right.
I had no idea this was a thing. Apparently, male platypuses have spurs on their ankles that are connected to a venomous gland. And the venom it's not like lethal, but apparently the pain is super excruciating, and it can last for months. And the pain is resistant to morphine, which is insane.
Yikes.
So you're just like suffering for months, and good luck with that, I guess.
Oh,
like,
but
who
platypus
knew?
but platypi are so cute.
That's what I'm saying. Like, who knew?
No more platypi pets for you guys.
Guess not.
No more platypuses.
You can see yourself out.
My number 3 is the Black Widow because
That's
I
your
hate
number two?
spiders. No, my
That's your
number
number
2.
Yeah.
My number 2. Sorry, I can't count. My number 2 is a Black Widow because I hate spiders, and like I don't want a spider anywhere near me, and I especially don't want one that can sting me.
Do we
And
consider that a bite or a sting?
I don't know, Ben. It was on a list.
I know that's why. Well, that's what I was talking about earlier when I was like, I feel like spiders bite; they don't sting.
I don't know. I mean, at the core, it's a sharp thing going into your body.
Okay, so what's number 1? The COVID vaccine.
Oh no, I don't have the answers. Fine.
This is
Fine. Then my number 2 is a murder hornet if I can't use a Black Widow. I don't know, Ben. It was just on a list.
You do you, man.
Okay.
It's fine.
Whatever. And then my number 1 is jellyfish because Ben, this is crazy, but I also have a story, and it was probably like the same year.
Oh wow.
Or like around the same year, my family went to Ocean City.
Oh, there you
And
go.
we had no idea, but like there were so many jellyfish in the water that you couldn't even see them because
Wow.
it just looked like water.
It would
And
make sense
then-
it was the same year because those places are nearby.
Yeah, exactly. And then we went swimming and we came out and there were jellyfish on us and it was disgusting. And
Yep.
I've never gotten over it. Traumatized. So definitely jellyfish. Get the number 1 spot. Never encountered another one in my life that wasn't, at an aquarium, but still.
Right.
That's crazy though. We were probably so close to each other. The same year. Different places. Can you guys hear me?
Yes, I can. Sorry.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
Alrighty.
Wow, that's
Well,
crazy.
shut up.
No, that is cool.
Well-
That is cool that we were in the same place, getting stung by jellyfish at the same time.
Yeah, who knew? All these years later, we could bond over it. That brings us to the end of The Sting. If you would like to watch along with us next week, we're going to be continuing our Best Picture month, and we will be watching No Country for Old Men,
Woohoo.
going back to the Coen brothers again very soon after watching whatever movie we watched that they did.
The Big
Big
Lebowski.
Lebowski.
The Big Lebowski, that one. And yeah, so be sure to tune in for that one. If you enjoyed this episode, please consider leaving us a rating or review, and be sure to follow us on all our social channels. Thank you so much for listening, and we'll see y'all next week.
To infinity and beyond!
Why so serious?
I am serious. And don't call me Shook.
We're not worthy! We're not worthy!
Keep the change, you filthy animal.
What you just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard. At no point in your rambling, incoherent response were you even close to anything that could be considered a rational thought. Everyone in this room is now dumber for having listened to it. I award you no points, and may God have mercy on your soul.
I said it before and I'll say it again. Life moves pretty fast. You don't stop and look around once in a while, you could miss it.